The Shadow in the Dojo. In the hushed, almost reverent atmosphere of the renowned Dragon's Ascent Dojo, a dark secret lingered, whispered in the subtle glances and hushed tones of its diverse community. This was not merely a tale of physical prowess, but battle for dignity, identity, and the very soul of martial arts itself, set to explode one sweltering afternoon. Rebecca Becky Hayes, a woman whose quiet demeanor belied a deep strength, felt a familiar mix of comfort and unease as she pushed open the dojo's heavy oak doors. She came every week to pick up her 16-year-old daughter, Maya, a once shy girl now transformed into a confident martial artist. Rebecca's heart swelled with pride watching Maya on the mats, but chilling undercurrent of prejudice, injected by the dojo's star instructor, Liam the Dragon Thorne, always soured the peace. Thorne, tall and arrogant in his gleaming black belt, commanded the floor. His authority was undeniable. Yet Rebecca saw impatience flicker in his eyes, particularly when they landed on students of color. "Kick higher, Jordan. Am I running a preschool here?" Thorne barked, his mockery stinging a young black boy. Rebecca's jaw tightened. She'd seen Thorne's subtle bias before, his cutting gaze and disparaging tone aimed squarely at students like Jordan and even Maya. White parents might shrug it off, but Rebecca felt the sting of injustice keenly. She knew she couldn't stay silent forever. That day, Maya's usual spark was dimmed by Thorne's harsh criticism. As Rebecca embraced her daughter, she caught Thorne's sneering glance, a dare in his cold eyes. Rebecca vowed then to take decisive action, not just for Maya, but for every child enduring such unfairness. A condition set in stone. The next day, a tense hush hung over the dojo. Thorne, basking in the anticipation, announced a special demonstration, a match between himself, the professional, and an amateur volunteer, Rebecca. He pointed directly at her, his tone dripping with disdain. Miss Hayes, Maya's mother, never thrown a punch in her life, right? Maya trembled beside her mother. "Mom, please," she whispered, her voice laced with worry. Rebecca, however, remained outwardly calm. "Mr. Thorne, I don't think this is necessary. I'm just here to pick up my daughter." Thorne laughed harshly, playing to crowd. "Oh, of course, Miss Hayes. But I thought it would be interesting for my students to see what real skill looks like." White parents chuckled, oblivious to his cruelty, while a parent of color sat in frustrated silence. Rebecca took a deep breath, her chin lifting. "All right, if you want to prove something, I won't back down. But you should also prepare yourself to realize that not everyone is as weak and helpless as you seem to think." The dojo fell silent. Thorne's mocking grin faltered, replaced by a flicker of discomfort. Rebecca seized the moment. "If you win, I will admit I know nothing about martial arts. But if you lose," her gaze sharpened, "you must apologize publicly in front of every parent and student here for your disrespectful and racist behavior over all this time." A collective gasp swept through the dojo. White parents exchanged shocked glances, while a parent of color began to stir with admiration and hope. Thorne burst into a mocking laugh. "Apologize? Are you really under the impression you can beat me?" "Yes," Rebecca replied, unwavering. "If you're truly that confident, this shouldn't be a problem." Discomfort flickered again in Thorne's eyes, but he regained his composure, accepting condition with a condescending flourish. He announced a match for the following day, promising an unforgettable demonstration. Inside Rebecca, a righteous fire blazed. This wasn't just a personal contest. It was a battle for dignity and justice. Hashtag the Shadow Siren's return. That evening, alone, Rebecca confronted the memories she had buried. Thorne's taunts echoed, but they also unearthed a shadowy chapter of her past. A time when she was known as Rebecca Shadow Siren Williams, a 3-time MMA world champion. Shadow Siren, a moniker that sent shockwaves to the entire MMA world. Her style was calm, cold, ruthlessly precise. Opponents said the air froze around them when she stepped onto the mat. But that glory was a closed book, sealed by tragedy. Years ago, the night before her biggest fight, her younger brother, Marcus, her biggest fan, was killed in a car accident. The news shattered her. She refused to fight, retired from MMA, changed her name to Hayes, and moved, determined to live an ordinary life, protecting Maya from her own painful past. Now, Thorn had unwittingly awakened the Shadow Siren. Rebecca opened her wardrobe, revealing her old silver and black MMA championship belt, faded photographs. Memories of Marcus flooded back, but this time a new fire ignited. "Marcus, I'm sorry I ran away for so long," she whispered, her voice trembling. "But I promise you this time I won't back down. I'll fight for you, for Maya, for the justice we both believed in." Her eyes, once subdued, now held the fierce resolve of a true warrior. The Shadow Siren had returned. The dance of dominance. The next afternoon, the dojo buzzed with anticipation. Rebecca stepped onto mat, calm and composed in her simple attire, betraying no nerves. A hush fell. Thorn, smug, raised his hand. "Welcome, everyone. I'll show you the clear difference between a professional and an ordinary person." He challenged Rebecca to back down, but she simply affirmed her readiness. "I promise to be gentle," he sneered. "I am a gentleman after all." Thorn launched into showy, high kicks, stopping inches from her, flaunting his control. Applause rose from some white parents. Pitying glances cast at Rebecca. "Miss Hayes clearly has no martial arts skill," Thorn boomed. Maya watched, her heart hammering with fear. Rebecca, however, remained unmoved. She merely shifted her weight, taking minuscule steps, expertly evading every strike. Her calm precision visibly frustrated Thorn. "Aren't you going to fight back?" he snapped, delivering a sharper, more forceful kick. Rebecca's dark gaze never wavered. "I thought this was supposed to be a professional's demonstration. I'm just waiting for you to show me everything you've got." Her words drew gasps, anger flaring in Thorn's eyes. He couldn't believe this unassuming woman dared to taunt him. "Maybe I don't need to hold back anymore," he growled, unleashing a faster, harder flurry of strikes. Rebecca flowed through every attack, evading with razor-sharp precision. Each move barely inches from his foot or fist. The parents and students began to sense something unusual. Her dodges weren't luck. They were astonishingly accurate. The more Thorn attacked, the more enraged he became, his breathing ragged. Her unshakable calm infuriated him. "You think dodging forever will make you win?" he snarled. Rebecca didn't answer, her icy calm holding his gaze. She knew it was time to teach him a lesson, a reckoning for his arrogance and prejudice. The fall of the dragon. The tension in the dojo was electric. Thorn, losing all patience, unleashed a relentless barrage of kicks and punches, raw anger fueling his every move. But Rebecca remained rooted, a fundamental shift in her. Every subtle dodge was impossibly precise, as if she anticipated each blow. Thorn threw a powerful straight punch. She dipped aside, his fist whistling past. A lightning-quick roundhouse kick followed. She glided back a single step, his foot slicing empty air. The dojo's atmosphere changed. Mocking whispers vanished, replaced by astonished murmurs. "What on earth is happening?" a white parent whispered. "Marissa," Jordan's mother murmured. "She's nothing like we thought." Rebecca flawlessly evaded Thorn's furious assault, never rushing or panicking. His confidence crumbled, frustration burning in his eyes. "What game are you playing, Rebecca?" he barked. "Are you just going to dodge forever?" Rebecca offered no verbal reply, just her steely, unblinking stare, the gaze of Shadow Siren. At the edge of the ring, students of color exchanged hopeful glances, quiet applause beginning to swell. Sensing their shift, Thorn's fury deepened. "Who clapped just now? You all enjoy cheering for weakness," he snarled. "I'm done holding back, Rebecca," he hissed. "I'll make you regret ever challenging me." Rebecca's voice was soft, yet brimming with strength. "Go ahead, but don't forget the conditions." This fueled his rage. He charged with ferocious punches, but in his blind fury, his technique faltered. Rebecca easily slipped every sloppy attack. The tension peaked. She hadn't thrown a single counterpunch, yet she completely controlled the match. Thorn, panting and desperate, had hit his breaking point. Rebecca knew it was time to end it. She stood tall, resolute, her calm composure a stark contrast to his inner chaos. He roared, unleashing his signature spinning kick, the move he was most proud of. Rebecca watched its clumsiness, its desperation. Just as it was about to strike, she moved, Not a fierce blow, but a precise lean aside, extending her hand to gently touch his incoming leg. The feather-like touch instantly shattered Thorn's balance. He stumbled, spun awkwardly, and crashed hard onto the mat. Silence. Thorn lay motionless, eyes wide with horror. He was defeated by a single, effortless move from the woman he'd underestimated. Students and parents stared in disbelief. Those who'd banked on Thorn's dominance were speechless. The students of color, including Maya, felt joy, relief, and immense pride. Thorn propped himself up, trembling from humiliation. "No, this can't be," he stammered. Rebecca approached him calmly. "Thorn, I hope you now understand that true strength isn't about flashy technique, physical power, or arrogance. True strength lies in humility, respect for others, and the mastery of oneself." Thorn fell silent, shame burning within him. Then gentle applause began, swelling into a triumphant roar. They applauded Rebecca not just for winning, but for teaching a vital lesson in courage, conviction, and justice. Maya, tears of pride in her eyes, embraced her mother. "You've always been the greatest hero in my heart." A new dawn. Thorn, his face ashen, finally pulled himself upright, his legs shaking. Rebecca's gaze was steady, calm, without hatred. "Thorn, what you've just experienced is a lesson you must never forget. Never underestimate anyone because of their appearance or the color of their skin." Her words cut deep, awakening realization. The dojo erupted in thunderous applause, a firm rebuke of his prejudice. He stood paralyzed, finally understanding the ridicule he'd inflicted on others. I didn't mean to," he stammered. Rebecca's tone was gentler. "None of us is perfect, but what matters is recognizing our mistakes and having the courage to correct them." She turned to the dojo. "True martial arts fosters respect, humility, and inner strength. We train not to prove who is more powerful, but to learn self-control, preserve our dignity, and remain calm even in the face of challenge or injustice." Her powerful message resonated. Marissa, Jordan's mother, thanked Rebecca, calling it an invaluable lesson. A young student of color spoke up, promising never to let anyone endure injustice again. Thorn, listening, met Rebecca's eyes. "Thank you, Rebecca. You didn't just beat me. You've taught me an invaluable lesson. I promise I will change." His honesty drew applause for his bravery, that Rebecca's heart was lighter than ever. She had delivered a lasting, transformative lesson in humility, respect, and true equality for all. From that day, a wave of positive change rippled through Dragon's Ascent. Thorn completely transformed his teaching, no longer judging students by skin color. He became open, humble, studying the experiences of people of color, rebuilding trust. Rebecca became an inspiration, especially for young students of color, fostering confidence and fairness. The dojo became renowned not just for martial arts, but for nurturing humility, mutual respect, and the intrinsic worth of every individual. Thorn even organized discussion panels with Rebecca, sharing her journey, teaching that true strength is about kindness and deep respect. Maya, witnessing it all, spread the message of equality. As Rebecca and Maya left that evening, Rebecca paused, looking back at the room. "Everything we do, every fight we face, matters less than how we treat one another. True strength isn't about showing off. It lives in our hearts and in how we treat each other. Always remember that." Maya nodded, promising to be as strong as her mother. Thorn watched him fade, a new emotion stirring. Genuine gratitude. The painful match had saved him from his own arrogance. The last rays of sunlight illuminated the dojo, a reminder. True strength isn't measured by how we showcase ourselves, but by the kindness in our hearts and the way we treat one another. The story of Rebecca Hayes is a powerful testament to dignity and transformation. Have you ever witnessed or experienced a situation where initial prejudices were overturned? Share your story in the comments below.